It's time for a budget rifle adventure. In this video, we're gonna get this Savage Axis 223 Remington out of the box. We're gonna check it out and put it in this Boyds featherweight thumbhole stock, and then we're gonna go out and have some fun shooting. Check it out. Hey guys, Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. There's very few things as fun in the world of rifles as a bolt-action 223, and that's what I've got right here. This is the Savage Axis, the base model. We're talking about a budget rifle that's packed with cool features. In this box, I've got the Boyds featherweight thumbhole stock with some cool options that I've selected. I'm gonna start by getting the Savage Axis out of the box and we'll check it out. Okay, so we've got the Axis out of the box. Here's what we've got. We've got the rifle assembly, the barrel to action in stock. The bolt came separately in a bag. We've got instruction manual. We've got some other promotional materials. We've got a decal. We've got a gun lock, which I'm going to toss in the garbage because I use gun safes. And we even have some ear pro. Chamber flag was in the chamber. I removed that. So let's see how this is going to look when we put this together. Check, make sure it's empty. It's good. Got a 4-round magazine there. Okay, that is the rifle itself. Next, let's talk specs. So it's really cool to see Savage offering a 223 bolt action rifle. I think every rifle manufacturer should do this because they're great. They're fun, they're low recoiling, they're great for varminting, great for introducing new shooters to bolt action, and the ammo options are just amazing. From plinking ammo intended for 223 AR-15s all the way to match ammunition. Really good stuff. Okay, so the SKU number on this one is 57233. It's also available in the Axis XP, and the XP is a model that has a scope, a budget scope that comes with it. We've got a story coming up with another Boyds upgrade that is the Savage Axis 7mm08 XP, so watch out for that one. MSRP is $429. I did notice that these are on sale online for under $400, which is very budget oriented, of course. Caliber here is 223 Remington, 1-in-9 twist. The key features that are highlighted on the Savage website are the smooth bolt action. It does have the black synthetic stock, and there's some unique features here with length of pull and configurability that are inherent to the Axis lineup, which is pretty cool. Button rifled 22-inch barrel, 4-round detachable box magazine, and overall it's kind of just a really sleek and modern design. Okay. So that's the rifle. Next, we're going to take a look at the stock. All right, so here it is. Look at that. That's definitely going to be a cosmetic upgrade. It's going to give this rifle some definite character, right? And there's quite a few different rifle models that this featherweight thumbhole works with. Let me talk about kind of the features and the options that I selected. So comes standard, overall length is 31.5 inches and standard length of pull is 13.75. Made in the USA like all of the other Boyds stocks. My personal selections when I went through the stock configurator. So the color I selected was forest camo, and with high gloss this time. There's this 90-degree gloss finish that you can select, and it gives it definitely a different appearance. And I'd say the green is a little bit lighter than the full custom 7 PRC that we did on the channel, which you're going to want to check out. That was a pretty fun build. So we've got 14-inch length of pull as a part of that configurator, the limb saver recoil pad, and the aluminum pillar bedding rear only is what Boyds calls that. So that is this little guy right here. And I haven't decided if we're going to bed this one from the get-go. I think we might shoot it first to see how that's going to do. Okay, so that's the basic features. Next, I'm going to put the two together. Okay, so it looks like we have a standard 5/32 that we're going to need to use here for taking the barrel to action out of the stock. I'm going to remove the magazine, make sure she's clear, remove the bolt, and look at that. We have our action screws exposed there. Interesting. Yeah, the trigger guard is actually a part of the stock on this rifle. So that's why we need a separate trigger guard on the Boyds stock. There we go. Pretty simple action. A little bit of trivia. The Savage Axis is long action, including for 223. It's one of the cost-saving measures, as far as I understand it, that Savage has taken in order to make this kind of a package work from a price standpoint. Yeah, very just simple and straightforward construction. So let's see how it fits in the stock here. Oh, that just popped right in. Looks like our free floating is pretty good there. Huh. Looky, right? See how this comes together. Okay, that's drawn in a little bit. Okay, so we're actually going to get out the Torx screwdriver. The instructions stated clearly that we want 35 inch-pounds and no more because of the construction of the stock and the particularities of this setup. So I'm going to get that. We'll torque her down. All right, so I got my Wheeler Professional Fat Wrench set. We're going to use that to set our action screw torque. And there's 35 right there. Get our 5/32. Oh, that one was already torqued from the factory. There's our rear action screw. All right, 35. Let's see how everything fits together, shall we? Good bolt handle clearance. And hey, look at that. That fits good. Look at that. That looks quite different, doesn't it? Okay. And again, before I pull the trigger, wait, make sure that we know she's clear. Yeah, look at that. So the next step is going to be to mount the scope. So in preparation for zeroing the rifle, I had to select an optic, and I specifically went with the ATN X-Sight 5 LRF. Couple reasons for that. First, I planned on doing some rock checking with it, and it's great to be able to record the action internally on the scope. And then second, the laser rangefinder is particularly handy with rock checking, because I'll be engaging a rock chuck at 40 yards and then 120 and then maybe 240. You never know where the rock chucks are going to pop up. And that's one less thing, no needing to dial the scope or anything. I input the ballistic information from the chronograph. I think we're at somewhere around 2,800 feet per second with this particular Berger 73 grain hollow point bowtail match ammunition. And so I used the G7 BC and the muzzle velocity, the scope height, all that, set it in the internal ballistics calculator for the scope. And now I just hit one button, range whatever I'm going to hit. It sits there for a second, gets the yardage, applies it. This is like magic, and off to the races. So I used some Athlon rings. The scope is sitting a little bit low on the rifle, but actually with the low cheek riser here that's built into the stock, it's not really a riser, the comb. Yeah, it worked out well. So no problems there at all. Another critical thing that you want to always watch is that you can clear the eyepiece here. And that, not a whole lot of room there, but not too bad, you know. I checked the trigger pull weight with this Lyman electronic trigger pull gauge. This thing is super, super handy. You can actually change this, this bar here, 4 different orientations depending on how you want to get to the trigger and that kind of thing, and then it stows in its case. We were just over 5 pounds with the trigger, right? Which for me, I usually run my PRS guns at about 7 ounces. And I might take a hunting rifle up to 1 pound. Personally, I'm not saying that you should do that. So to go up to 5.5 pounds, 2 ounce trigger was a bit much, but what I did find is that while it's really heavy, not a lot of creep and not a lot of movement either. So it doesn't feel gritty. It just has a clean break, albeit really heavy. So I think there are mods for the trigger. That's something that I personally would look at. I'm not saying that you should do that. And then also aftermarket triggers would be kind of a cool thing to look at as well to get that trigger pull weight down. This is completely an economy rifle, the Savage Axis. So dollar for dollar, I think we're at a really good value to price point there in that. We also put this rifle on the scale without the scope, but with the rail, we were at just over 7.5 pounds. And when we added the X-Sight 5 with the laser rangefinder, we were just over 10 pounds. And that doesn't feel heavy, honestly. And this is even more than 10 pounds with the bipod, obviously. So a nice compact package. And you know, when we got it all set up, it was time to head to the 100-yard range where I shot it with this bipod and rear bag. I actually started at 50 yards to get it on paper, and then moved out to 100 and used the X-Sight 5's one-shot zero internal capability, which is really cool. You shoot a shot or a group, and then you align the crosshairs with where you're aiming. This is in the zeroing function, and you move the crosshairs over using the D-pad. You can zoom in and out, you can do all that to where the shot's landed, hit OK, boom, it's already adjusted that. I captured the muzzle velocity with the chronograph, input the velocity and the ballistic coefficient of the bullet using the G7 BC right off the box here. And that means with the integrated laser rangefinder, now I'm going to get an accurate point of impact. And the scope will adjust for the sight height, for the ballistic drop, all of that, right? It's all built in. So that makes it really, really handy when you're out in the field shooting at random distances. So during the zeroing process, I shot a few groups. I had a couple good ones here. The first group measured 0.711 inches. This is all with the 73 grain Berger factory ammunition. The next group measured 0.608 inches. And then on this third group, I had a bit of a windage flinch. As you can see there, again, not used to shooting with a 5-pound trigger. But you know, multiple sub 3/4 MOA back-to-back groups. You know, for a rifle in this price range, I think that's actually really good performance, and it never hurts to use super premium factory ammunition. You know, at this point, it was time to go rock chucking. While I was out, it was a beautiful day. I decided to do a bunch of different types of shooting, including steel at different ranges and rock chucks. So as you can see, we had some fun rock chucking. One thing that I decided was, I think this 73 grain bullet is too heavy. With rock chucks, I want to see a bit more velocity. And so going down to a lighter bullet, like maybe like Hornady's 62 ELD VT or a 55 grain hunting bullet of some sort, I think would be a little bit of an improvement to elevate that muzzle velocity. I think we're at 2870 or something like that, you know, with this Berger 73. If we went down to 55 FMG, I think we'd be up over 3,000, which is every 100 feet per second makes a difference with those small targets. Now we'll have to say, a couple of those rock chucks I shot twice and it was pretty brutal. So even with the 73 grain bullets, it packs a wallop for sure. 223 is a good varminting cartridge. You know, but this rifle is also available in 22-250. So if all I was going to do was shoot rock chucks, I would probably choose the 22-250 to get that extra bit of velocity, especially with those light bullets. That would be absolutely perfect. Another thing that would be cool to look at with this rifle would be to thread the muzzle. And we're just over a ½ inch here, so I would need to do my special sporter barrel threading where I turn it back and add a shoulder so that when you're screwing on your brake or your suppressor, there's a bit of a good shoulder there to seat down on and to help it stay secured, that sort of thing. But you know, this rifle, everybody that's seen this has been like, hey, that's a cool rifle, you know? And this is the kind of thing that you can build on a budget. There's a couple different models of the thumbhole stock that Boyds has. This is the featherweight. I think it's really fun. The ergos are great on it. It's nice and compact. The thumbhole is a totally different shooting experience. That was fun. And I was really impressed with the fit and finish of how this factory magazine fits. It looks right, it feels right, it doesn't move around, and I had 100% feeding reliability and functioning. So I think Boyds did a really good job taking the Savage Axis and building an entire collection of stocks around this inletting. So if you go to the configurator at Boyds and you put in Savage as the manufacturer, Axis as the model, you're going to see after you configure, you know, which options you have. This is the short action, which has to do with the magazine inlet. All of the Axis actions are actually long action in terms of the actual receiver. It's just, I think, an economies of scale kind of thing. You're going to see, you know, probably 10 different options or something like that for the Savage Axis. So the other stocks that you've seen here on the channel, almost all those are going to work with the Savage Axis and a ton of different inlettings. I think Boyds has more inlettings than I've seen from any other stock manufacturer, easily. So if you have a rifle and you want to do an easy upgrade, definitely check out Boyds. And we do have our 7mm08 project that's going. It's going to be a little bit more involved than this one. So make sure you're subscribed and check that project out. Are you running a Boyds stock? I would love to hear your experiences. What are you using it for? What kind of chambering are you running? That sort of thing. Drop a comment and we'll start a discussion. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.